Welcome back to Empower Families 星光家园. In this series, we're going to share two real stories from parents who have walked the journey of supporting their neurodivergent children, not only through therapy or academic support, but through a deeper understanding of their children's learning needs, emotions, behaviors, and strength. Today, we are very honored to introduce two mothers whose children have made meaningful progress academically after going through Joyce's Parents Coach program. For many neurodivergent children, learning is not just about sitting down and doing homework. Sometimes, the challenges behind learning are connected to emotional regulation, confidence, communication, attention, motivation, and the way the child experiences the world. Through parent coaching, parents are guided to observe their children differently, respond with more understanding, and support learning in a way that is more suitable for their child's needs. In today's video, these mothers will share their child's learning journey, the challenges they face, the changes they observed, and how parents coaching helped them support their child more effectively. We hope these stories will encourage other parents to know that progress is possible and every child's journey can unfold in their own time. With the right support and understanding, we shall invite Joyce to give us some background on these two children.
Thank you, Felicia, for having me back again in this session. So, the first video, which will be shared with you, is a mother who came to see me when she was informed by the kindergarten principal that her child was having difficulty catching up in class. What the principal and the teachers together told her was that the child was having difficulty reading and writing compared to children of their own age, and she feared that he would have difficulty in entering standard 1. When she came to see me, they were at the end of no, they were already at year 5. Okay, so if she stayed in the kindergarten, there was going to be one more year to go. And even then, the teacher was not confident that he would be able to start year 1 when he was 7 years old. So we started a program after I heard her by first understanding what is holding back the child, because he didn't seem to appear to have any learning difficulties, but he was definitely having dyslexia traits. And I will leave you now to watch the video from the mom sharing her discovery and her journey with her son and where he is right now.
Hi, I'm a mother of two children, and one of them has dyslexia and sensory processing challenge. I struggle to help him recognize alphabets and words, and he was frequently writing in mirror images. I wanted to support him, but I didn't know how to bridge the gap. Joyce's assessment was a turning point. She identified his sensory needs and coached me on the QST massage protocol. After 6 months of consistent practice, his follow-up assessment showed that he has improved tremendously at 80%. Through Joyce coaching, I finally understood that my son is a visual learner. I finally knew the why behind his mirror imaging and why he struggled to learn phonics, even though he could pronounce individual sounds. The methods she taught me were simple but life-changing. Using just cardboard and clay, he learned to write all his alphabets without mirror imaging in just 2 weeks. She then coached me on word recognition method that is more suitable for him. Within months, he was reading and writing with newfound confidence. While he also received support from an occupational therapist for his vision, Joyce coaching provided the roadmap we needed at home. He's doing very well in school now and is scoring quite well in most subjects. Last year, he was even awarded Best in English and Best in Maths, an achievement we once thought might be out of reach. Most importantly, he's happy. He enjoys the learning process and looks forward to going to school every day. I'm so deeply grateful to Joyce. Her coaching significantly reduced my anxiety. In a world where there is too much conflicting information and many therapies are financially out of reach for the average family, Joyce provided a clear, manageable path. Having her as a guide meant I always had someone to turn to with my questions. Thank you, Joyce, for walking this journey with us. We wouldn't be where we are today without your support.
Well, what a good sharing. Now, shall we have Joyce to share with us on some background on the second child? Joyce?
Okay, so in the second testimonial, I don't think there is a need for me to give you the background for the child. In fact, the parents were actually introduced to see me through the child's educational psychologist, because the educational psychologist was seeing this kid for a long time, and she had been keeping track of his progress to a point where she wasn't really quite sure what was holding the child back. Because physically he seemed normal, but academically he was definitely not picking it up, and developmentally he was also behind. So the psychologist had a word with me. I got a bigger understanding, and subsequently I did an assessment walkthrough with the parents to identify the issues, and we started working from there for the next 6 months. So the video tells it all, and I welcome you to watch it now and hear mother's experience.
Hi, my name is Madam Leong. I have a son who was diagnosed with pervasive developmental delay, PDD, otherwise unspecified. Throughout his toddler days, he could not speak until the age of 4, displayed no eye contact when called, and played all the time with one and only thing, the train. My son attended normal day school as inclusive class. We understood that he would need a lot of help and support. Hence, he joined the Star Jump program for his intervention since he started primary school for a few years to better equip him and to support in his learning. Star Jump program was a literacy program focusing in helping cognitive development. Today, I'd like to share about my son's journey with Star Jump program. First and foremost, I'd like to share what I discovered about my son after seeing Joyce in the Star Jump program. When my son first joined the Star Jump program, he had difficulty expressing himself during the individual sessions. The assessment also found him to be a visual spatial learner, which means he learns visually more than through listening. At the beginning of the Star Jump program, my son's language ability was first dealt with by learning word list, reading, and writing. After joining the program for a few years, he could speak better and even enjoyed reading storybooks. Later on, his mathematical ability also improved when the Move to Learn program was introduced into the intervention program. Just for added information, the Move to Learn program was a movement-based program designed to help ensure that all parts of his body and brain work cohesively. Discovering that he could begin to understand and do his school homework on his own from Standard 5 onwards, we were confident that he can manage public exam by the middle of his Standard 6 year. So we decided to sign him up for his UPSR exam, even though it was way past the deadline for exam registration. Registered as Calon Tercicir with OKU card, he received additional time allowance during exam and managed to pass all the subjects commendably. After my son was enrolled into secondary school, the sessions with Star Jump had ended. But my son continued to attend individual coaching whenever he felt the need to chat with Joyce over his emotional struggles in coping in school. After each session, my husband always noted that my son came home happily as he was attended to and felt understood in the way we as parents couldn't. Currently, my son is doing his second-year degree in chemistry, following an English taught program in a national university in Taiwan. He had learned to cook, drive, manage his own studies, living independently in the university dormitory with friends. Lastly, I'd like to share about how the parent coaching had helped in my son's case. So, before joining the Star Jump program, my son used to struggle in learning new word lists for his weekly spelling tests in his primary year 1 and 2. Although at home we had tried many other ways to help him learn, we failed badly because we did not understand how my son learned differently from most people as a visual spatial learner. After seeing Joyce, for example, I was coached to train my son to learn by preparing a PowerPoint presentation to learn his spelling word list. For each new word, a slide was prepared with the word and a related picture for the meaning of the word. He would look at the picture with the word, read the word aloud, and then spell with the word covered. After 3 rounds of practice, his photographic memory had helped him to learn the word entirely instead of breaking into different syllables. He understood quickly the meaning of the word and remembered the spelling of the word with the help given by the picture. That way of learning amazed me. So, the weekly challenge of spelling tests were overcome with full marks most of the time. We did this for all the 3 languages, BM, English, and Chinese spelling weekly. For the Chinese words, which are pictorial in nature, we added the use of a digital drawing pad to help in his practice. By around age 10, following his improvement in his language skills, Joyce helped move on to tackle his mathematical skills in which he was struggling in, like remembering his multiplication tables, especially for times tables 6, 7, 8, 9, and applying all the 4 basic mathematical operations in his homework. This is where the parent coaching had helped in a huge way. Following the significant removal of reading and speaking skills blockage, later we witnessed a spurt growth in my son's mathematical understanding and ability in learning multiplication tables. The activities introduced in the Move to Learn concept were carried out during individual sessions with Joyce and also done at home. In that year, to further achieve the outcome of his Move to Learn activities, my family took up swimming for a whole year as family activity on weekends and during school holiday. During that entire year, the whole family learned swimming together with him. That was so useful. And after 6 months of swimming every week, my son began to learn his multiplication tables 6, 7, 8, 9 easily, and later improve in his mathematical understanding. In the second half of year 5, slowly my son was able to apply the 4 basic mathematical operations in solving the mathematical problems in his homework. As time progressed in year 5, my son began to receive lesser coaching and was able to do his homework by himself most of the time at home. That was another milestone achieved through the parent coaching given by Joyce. Thank you so much, Joyce. Here, I would also like to encourage parents to be proactive in sending your child for early diagnostic tests through a child developmental psychologist. Recalling the early years when my son was a toddler and was babbling and could not speak like a normal child from age 2 onwards, I knew something was amiss. I shared my worries with my husband, but he was in denial, citing that my son had no problem. I waited 2 more years until a friend who came to visit one day saw my son's condition and expressed her concern and suggested that we should get my son diagnosed. So my son received his diagnosis around 5 years old in his second year of kindergarten. A year prior to that, we had already started sending him to normal kindergarten at age 4, and that whole year was a nightmare. We didn't understand him, his learning needs, condition, and in what condition can he learn best, and so on. Consequently, my son struggled to go to kindergarten and to follow the lessons. I think the diagnosis was done late in my son's case. In conclusion, after seeing Joyce and doing all the sessions in the StarJob program, I understood better what learning disabilities actually mean. To me, I learned that learning disabilities were a set of blockages that prevented normal learning. Once diagnosed properly and strategies for intervention are planned and executed, slowly each stage of blockage can be removed and overcome. In that journey, parents need to reset their priorities and views like learning something about our child rather than rejecting their behavior as a problem. There is hope when we give sufficient intervention appropriately and early enough instead of remaining in the denial stage as parents. So do not give up. Things will change. Parents need to play their roles. Thank you.
Thank you to both mothers for sharing their honest and meaningful journey with us. These stories remind us that academic progress does not happen in isolation. For many neurodivergent children, learning improves when the child feels understood, emotionally supported, and guided in a way that matches their developmental needs. Parents coaching is not about blaming parents or changing the child overnight. It's about helping parents understand the child more deeply, respond more effectively, and build a stronger foundation for learning and growth. At Empower Families, 星光家园, we believe that when parents are empowered, children are better supported. Every child deserves to be seen beyond their challenges. Every family deserves guidance, hope, and encouragement. Thank you for watching this episode. We hope these sharing sessions will bring comfort and encouragement to other parents who are walking a similar path. Please continue to follow Empower Families 星光家园 for more real stories, parent education, and practical insights into supporting neurodivergent children. Thank you.
Thank you for watching the series and look forward to meeting you again. Bye.
Bye.